Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to all my writers and weirdos out there. I am KibbyRose. I am AuthorTube's lesbian psychic stoner. Today is Monday, June 2nd, and you all are getting my messy hair, my dirty clothes, my all, because as you can see, things are shifting behind me because we've got some changes coming up, but we still have to get some work done. You should see the mess that is literally beyond the life structure in front of me, but I'm just going to ignore it so we can get on with our stream. I'm doing voiceovers today, but I'm here to entertain you with a little bit of productivity, maybe some little bit of psychic readings into current events, and some rants about some things that are just bugging me that are in the news. So let me roll the opener and we can get on with this, shall we? All right, so I hope you all have had a very wonderful, happy, productive weekend, as I have. I am super, it's going to be hard for me to get through this stream. I'm just going to be honest with you because I cannot wait to finish the project that I'm currently in the middle of when it comes to the mess that is beyond my life, because we're going to be finishing the new office. And so instead of live streaming from the living room area, I'll be able to live stream from my own little office now. I'll be able to do voiceovers. I'll just kind of be, have my own little wing of the house. So the whole house is torn apart because I have to move furniture in order to get this done, because currently it was a spare room, and we decided to use the room that's currently kind of half my office at the moment as the new spare room. So when we have guests come over, first of all, they have the entire living room and bedroom, this is going to be like their whole wing of the house when we have guests. And then I will literally be tucked off into the other side of the house with my bedroom and my bathroom and everything. And then we'll have a nice little hallway and a bedroom in the middle. So it's good. This is something that we kind of figured out the last time that we had guests was, when it's just me here, it's fine, me live streaming from the living room. But when we have guests, it's a little bit more cumbersome. So the greatest news about it is we will be literally, we'll be an entire house length next to the Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi problems will be at a minimal after that. I won't have to worry about talking too loud or laughing too loud or anything else. Guys, if I want to live stream for more than 2 hours, I can, because I'm not going to bother anybody in the rest of the house, because literally I'm going to be tucked away in my own little corner. So am I really bothering anybody else in the house? No. Truthfully, they'll tell you that. Do I feel like I am just because that's the type of person I am? Yes. I was brought up to learn to be quieter and not let your sound encroach in other people's spaces. So the more that I can close the door and tuck myself away, the happier that I'll be. So I'm literally in the middle of doing all of that. On top of being in the middle of doing all of that, I'm doing voiceovers for season 1, episode 1 of the Dance Moms picture videos that I've been working on. So that's actually what I'm going to be working on during these sprints. But on top of the exciting news that I had to share with you guys, I do have rants coming up, because first of all, happy Pride Month to everybody. For those of you that don't celebrate, that's okay. Welcome to the community anyway. We love you all. But to anybody who is part of the special community that I belong to with the LGB lesbian, because I am a lesbian, happy Pride Month. It is the start of Pride Month. It is, our little celebration month. This is the kind of month where, like I said, this is when things are going to get controversial. Okay. I'm very much with a lot of the gays when it comes to stop changing the pride flag. It's not a big deal to me that Target is pulling back on their initiatives. Like, the truth is us, the gays just wanted equal exposure. We just wanted to be acknowledged that we existed. The current community seems to want special benefits because they're gay, and I'm over that. I've never been for that, and I'm kind of over it. I've had learning disabilities, mental disabilities. I've had physical disabilities. I'm part of the lesbian community. The last thing that I've ever used them as is excuses. Have I used them to maybe try to explain why I have to do things differently? Yes. Have I ever used them as an excuse for my behavior? No. I'm still accountable for my decisions. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on currently where I had to be like, yay for Pride Month. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad that we're toning it down a little bit. Truthfully, guys, like, we were a little bit we have a certain sect of the community that is forcefully trying to shove themselves down other people's throats, and I'm not for that. I'm for equal existence, equal exposure, but equal existence and equal exposure doesn't mean that we get special benefits and we get, special recognition and everything else. Like, we have our special recognition in our Pride Month. We have Proposition 8, which we fought for. That was the last time, honestly, I protested for anything in regards to our LGBT or LGB community. I'm more than happy to take the T off. I've gotten used to saying it, obviously, but I'm more happy than taking it off. There seems to be, and not only that, but I'm going to finish this last rant and we will get into our 10-minute sprint. But I want anybody to notice, if when you're watching the coverage of any of these protests about Hamas, about the community, the LGBT community, about ICE, about any of this stuff, I want you to look at the crowd, because there's something that I have come to notice, and I just want to see if anybody notices it as well. But it seems to be a certain age group known as the boomers that seem to be the ones that are throwing a fit. So I have to do some research, but when I have a little bit of extra time and I'm not doing everything that I'm doing right now, I want to look into like the 1980s and kind of do some investigational work and see, did Trump do something that literally just pissed off an entire generation? Like, because I don't know. The boomers seem to really have a problem with Trump, and I don't understand why. So, I mean, there's certain people of us that had problems with Biden, but we didn't make as big of a hissy fit as a lot of people are currently. On another note, I went out. So, cheers on that. We're going to take a sip. If anybody's wondering, this is a Washington Chardonnay. It's actually really good. I usually hate Chardonnays, but it's actually really good. I had to replace my tweezers because, who doesn't have to replace their tweezers every once in a while? And granted, when I went to my local Walgreens, I was a little disappointed by the selection, but I'm not surprised. It's going to take a minute before we can catch up on the whole Terra 4 thing. But I actually benefited from it, because instead of going straight for my normal tweezers and just grabbing what I normally buy and walking out the door, I actually found a pair of tweezers that's going to benefit me better. Now, you'll have to excuse the package because I kind of ripped open the package because I needed to use the tweezers, but we'll see if we can get this without. Yeah. Okay. So these are called the Revlon Comfort Grip. They're comfort and control tweezers, and I'll show you in a second what they look like. And the reason I got these is because if you guys don't know it, I have a scar right here. I have tendonitis. My tendons don't like me all that much. On top of fibromyalgia, yeah, it's just, don't ask. Anyway, so when it comes to tweezing things, and in my 43 youth years of age, I was starting to cramp up basically when tweezing. So here are the tweezers, the actual tweezers, and what they look like. And the coolest thing about them is not only are they ergonomically set to fit your hand and how to tweeze, but where you grip to tweeze, they have these little rubber things. So I actually did use these for a minute, and I found them extremely easy to use compared to the other tweezers, because truthfully, it was right here that I would cramp up, because holding the end of the tweezers to be able to tweeze. So much easier. So if you are like me and you struggle gripping things like tweezers, I highly recommend these. And I believe, guys, they were the same price as my other tweezers. They were $12.99. And I got these in my local Walgreens. So on that note, we're going to jump into a little 10-minute sprint. And truthfully, I wasn't going to share those. I threw the package away, everything, ripped it open, threw it away. Something told me you might have followers that struggle with the whole tweezing, like gripping department. So I just thought I'd share. Anyway, on with the sprint. So 10-minute sprint on the clock. Get done whatever you need to. I will be doing voiceovers, so you guys will be seeing me talking into the microphone, but don't worry. I'm not talking to you. It's doing voiceovers. Okay. Anyway, I will see you all in 10 minutes in 3. Oh, and when we get back, first of all, sorry, I do this every time, don't I? I'm sorry, guys. Okay, number 1, Amy, no music today because of the fact that I'm doing voiceovers. So guess what I'm listening to? My lovely self-talk. Yay! Anyway, second of all, we're going to be covering Pam Bondi, Lilo and Stitch, current recent grads. My poor opinion on recent grads. Whoopi Goldberg. I have notes over there that my angels just reminded me about that I need to grab. Kamala Harris, Swell Entertainment. I've got some stuff on Dance Moms. Anyway, so I will see you all in 10 minutes, and I have to go figure out where those notes are because those were really important notes because one of them was about Etna. And if you guys haven't seen yet, I told you this geostorm was going to cause problems. Go check out the hissy fit Miss Etna threw over in Sicily. All right. And I will see you guys in 10 minutes in 3, 2, 1, and sprint. And don't forget to mute yourself. Time's up. So that's the end of that sprint. And I did not mean to flip everybody off. I'm sorry about that. My upper lip was itching, which is a sign of something. I'll have to look it up. We are going to add to the stage. We're going to pause. That is not what I wanted. Thank you very much. So that's the end of that 10-minute sprint. I was able to get quite a few voiceovers done. I have no idea how to gauge the work progress when it comes to the voiceovers. I guess I started at, where did I start? I started at 3 minutes and 50 seconds and I ended at 5 minutes and 20 seconds. And I guess that's 6 pictures that I did voiceovers for. Anyway, in 10 minutes. Anyway, I'm trying to figure out. It was so much easier keeping track of my work when I was doing writing sprints and it was just word count numbers, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, Cora is in and out, which I am hoping that's not the same thing that we dealt with last time when we had to like radio that the child was finally down. Anyway, I wouldn't be surprised though, because she has some hypersensitive children, and with the energies that are going off with the sun right now, I mean, Mother Nature's even popping off. Go look at Etna. So if you're having a little bit of a moment with people and energies, you're not the only one. So is Mother Nature. I got 2 minutes of editing and fought 2 children. Hey, I had a feeling that's what was going on. Yeah, and you've got some hypersensitive children. Dinner and bedtime right now, and it's going to be difficult because the energies are just, yeah, hypersensitives are like moody, but we have a ton of energy, but it's like a very much like get out of our way, focused, like we want to do what we need to get done, and hyper focused type energy. And it's great for people like me who have projects laid out and are just like tunnel vision. For parents of children like this, yes, I used to drive my mother nuts on days like this. These were days that they used, my nickname Tigger or Crash would come out, guaranteed, because I'd bounce off the walls because I had so much energy and I didn't know how to focus it yet. Anyway, on a whole nother note, we're going to go into a couple of rants because that's what we do here, is a couple of rants in between our sprints. Because for those of you in the writing field, at least, we all know we tend to harbor in a cave in the hole when we're working on a project and not pay attention to current events or what's ever going on in the world. And it's one of those things where it's like, oh, that happened. Like, I swear there's some writers where I'm like, World War III could go off and you'd be like an ostrich with your head in the sand going, huh? Oh, okay, maybe I should pay attention. And I mean that in the best of ways. Like, I wish I could be the type of person who could not pay attention to the world's energies, but I'll wake up and just, for instance, I knew something happened last night because while in the shower, I got a hit and I was just like, to tell you the truth, I had been waiting for it because I knew the sun popped off and I knew we were going to get hit with some isotopes. But last night in the shower at midnight, it hit me. And I was just like, I just sat down for a minute and was just like, yep, gonna let this pass. This is overwhelming. And yeah, I have no idea when Etna popped off. But when I woke up this morning and saw that, I was like, kind of knew something was going to happen. So just know, guys, June is going to be a very tumultuous, very rough, a very turbulent month, completely. Remember how I said at the 6-month mark, karma was going to bring its hammer down, and lessons on all world fronts were going to be learned. So I'm nervous going into June, considering it's already the 2nd and Etna just blew her top, literally. And now we have, I think it was 5 volcanoes all in the same zone going off. And we have geophysics warning about the seismic activity over in Mount Rainier and the Three Sisters and now the Cascadia zone. It's the first time that Mount Rainier has been issued up to a level red warning level. So yeah, if you wanted to know if the sun ever pissed, it's almost like the sun, dad, and Mother Earth, mom, are like fighting right now. And if anybody saw that orb, I sure did. Anyway, it's almost like those two are going at it right now, and we're in the middle of it. So the best we can do is just kind of hold on for dear life. From what I'm hearing, the sun's going to pop off a couple more times during June, and let's Let's hope my predictions about the big one hitting California is just wrong. I want to be wrong, please. Anyway, on a whole nother front, let's make some happy news, right? So I didn't notice this very much because I don't have any kids. However, this came across my feed, I think it was yesterday, and my jaw just hit the floor, and I honestly started crying. And if you know me, I'm not a very emotional person. It takes a lot to kind of make me cry. But Pam Bondi, I guess, held a press conference on Bring Your Child to Work Day, where she actually answered questions of the children of the people she worked with. It is one of the cutest things I've ever seen in my life. And she handled it very, like, she gave them the real experience. And that's what I really appreciated about hers, because sometimes adults will kind of bring it to a baby level when it comes to, doing that kind of thing with kids. And she kept it very professional. She gave them the real experience, and I thought it was spot on and awesome. And in 43 years of my life, I've never heard of anything being done like this. And it was just one of those heartwarming moments where I was just like, okay. But on the other note, as much as I love this administration, I told you guys I'd be honest. And I'm going to be on when I felt things were off, and I'm going to be honest with you because I feel things are off. Hearing about the big beautiful bill, there's something about it where I'm not entirely comfortable with it. I'm just going to be honest with all of you. There's something about the big beautiful bill that it's almost like, please don't make me retract everything I said about how wonderful things are going to be in the future. Do I feel like this is one of those situations where Trump kind of dumped everything he could into it, and he's expecting the House and the Senate to kind of filter out, weed things through, and kind of stabilize it? Yes. Do I trust our House and our Senate to do something like that without patting their own pockets like they did in the Biden administration? Not really. I was not one of those that was willing to come out and say that I felt like the entire Biden administration was skeezy, underhanded, and slimy. However, you guys never heard me mention anything about the Biden administration ever on my channel until I felt comfortable saying something. And but I have no problem saying right now, there is something about the big beautiful bill that there's hope. That's how I'm going to put it. There's still hope attached to it that it's not going to do what a lot of people are predicting, or that I feel like, because there's a negative attached to it. That's pretty much what I'm saying. Yes, they're predicting that it's going to put us in a $4 trillion deficit. That's not what I'm looking at, you guys. I'm looking at the long-term energy that's attached to this and what's going to inevitably come of it. And it's not positive. It's not good energy right now. So hold on. I got a hair back here. Okay. That was driving me crazy. So there's just something about this big beautiful bill where I'm gonna give it hope. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. I might change my opinion in the future, but right now, let's just all put a lot of energy towards having that bill shine in a positive light instead of a negative light in the long term. Short term, I do see it being positive, but guys, we're not in this for the short term. We're not in it for America's kind of got to be around for the long haul. So, and for any of you that are 20 years old, you guys need it in terms for the long haul, because Social Security, you guys aren't going to be acquiring Social Security in 5 years. It's going to be, a good 40, 50 years before you guys acquire Social Security. Start fixing it now. Because right now, 20-year-olds are looking at getting nothing by the time you retire. And I think that's why a lot of 20-year-olds are in politics now, because a lot of them want to do what their parents did, where they start working hard at 18, work until they're 45, 50, retire with a retirement package and benefits, and be able to, live a great life. Any 20-year-old nowadays that's going into the work field, there is absolutely no possibility of that for in your future at all right now with the way the economy was going. So let's hope things get for the better and just go from there. But I told you guys we're going to jump into our first 20-minute sprint. But I told you guys that I would be honest with you if I ever saw something that was coming up with this presidency that made me feel off, made me feel awkward. The other thing is the one thing that I didn't mention at the time because I wanted to see how they're handling it, but accepting the jet from Qatar was I was a little standoffish about that. However, we do have to take into consideration that there are some cultures that if you deny a present, it is an absolute insult, and you could be negating any possible or future negotiations with them just by not accepting a gift. So I choose to think there's a little bit more political chess game being played in regards to accepting the Qatar jet, and pretty much the American Air Force is stripping it down, and they're going to make sure there's no bugs on it. They're going to strip that thing down to its brick and mortar, whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if they stripped it down all the way and then ended up copying it, or here, Boeing, just reproduce it. Anyway, we got 20 minutes on the clock, and I will see you guys in 20 minutes. When we get back, I've got a little bit of disgruntledness to preach about the poor college graduates right now. I've got some great news on a prediction that I made about Lilo and Stitch. I've got a little bit of news about, just some predictions about Camilla Harris and other things that are going on. And guys, I did some meditation on the whole JoJo Siwa situation. And I think there was a reason why I was stumbling over my words last time in trying to explain it. Because after what I'm going to reveal after this next 20-minute sprint, it's a little bit more complicated than just surface level. So we'll see if I'm right when inevitably in the end, but I'm going to make my prediction after this sprint. So I will see you all in 20 minutes. So 20 minutes on the clock, and in 3, 2, 1, and sprint. And don't forget to mute. And that's the end of that sprint. So switch this over. So how did we do? Did you get any words done? Were you able to get any work done? Yeah. Did you fight with your children? Did you get laundry done? Did you eat? I was able to get voiceovers done. Voiceovers. There we go. Voiceovers done for 15 photos. Tracking right along. We're at the 6-minute mark or 7-minute mark now. So yeah, tracking right along. Am I itching in the pants to start moving furniture and rearrange things? Yes. I'm going to be honest. ADHD, hyperactivity. When I have excitement and focus to want to do something, yeah, it's hard to focus on other things. Anyway, we're going to try to though. We're going to try to be adult. I'm going to tell you now though, it's going to be hard. Anyway, a couple of things I want to bring in. First of all, I teased about my JoJo prediction. So I just want to mention that I did a little bit of thinking and I did a little bit of meditating and I did like something dawned on me that I'm thinking none of us had maybe thought about in regards to this JoJo Siwa situation. Okay, here's the thing. What if this is a very big what if JoJo, first of all, I'm going to cover Cora because she always comes 6 minutes edited. Yes. Had to find photos for the video. Oh, that could take up so much time. Oh my gosh. So, well, I hope you found the photos you needed for the video. And good job on the 6 minutes edited. Very nice, very nice. So my prediction is this for JoJo Siwa. What if JoJo had this whole relationship with her girlfriend over the internet, over the phone, whatever else, right? Then she got down to Australia. They started hanging out. JoJo figured out they really didn't mesh. Or JoJo needed her to as a place to stay until she did this Big Brother. Then she did Big Brother Australia. To explain to this guy in these whatever intimate moments they had that she was trapped in a situation that she couldn't really get out of. What if they contrived this whole PR move to A, gets JoJo Siwa out of a relationship she didn't really want to be in, and B, make it seem like she was doing this whole controversy so that any girls, so that JoJo could actually be single for a while. Because the truth is if I guarantee as soon as JoJo broke up with this girl, she probably got inundated with offers from girls. And it's probably hard to resist. It's probably hard to not be in a relationship or stay be monogamous or not monogamous, celibate or whatever else, stay single when you have so many offers on the plate and you are so young. So I wonder if this is kind of her way to create a wall through, this is a PR stunt to also create a personal wall so that she can basically figure herself out. And it was something that I hadn't thought of, but this is something they've done before in past history where relationships were basically made as a huge PR move and a huge stunt to distract from something else going on. The Kardashians are infamous for this. So it made me start thinking that maybe this whole thing was a pre-planned escape plan for JoJo to get out of a relationship and stay out of a relationship, but still stay in controversy, still stay in people's mouths talking about it, the PR side of it. Because truthfully, she doesn't have much else going on right now. If you really think about it, her albums have kind of flopped. Her XKMOJM pop whatever fell through. She really didn't take off in the Australian community the way she was hoping. She's too old to go back to what she had before with the Disney and the glitter and everything else. She's too young to completely be able to be like, okay, I look at me as a mature, respected adult. But she's right in that middle ground that's really, really hard, truthfully, just to exist in general. And not only is she doing it in everybody's limelight, but she's also having to live up to certain things. Not only that, but maybe she did come out too early. Maybe she didn't have time to figure out what she really is and who she really is and what she really wants. And inevitably, maybe she's one of those few people that's going to maybe say she made a mistake. Who knows? But there's something about this entire stunt where it's just too, the photos are too staged. The information coming out is too planned. And her mom has stayed too silent on it, if you know what I mean. And considering she has really nothing else in the works, it just makes me think that this was a two-spot deal. A, PR, be able to keep her in the limelight. She's still doing podcasts, still doing interviews. And B, she was able to have an escape plan from a relationship that she figured out she wasn't really happy in. And if that's truth, it kind of sucks that she's doing what normal people do in limelight, and she's getting scrutinized for it. And even I'm one who's scrutinizing her for it. However, as somebody who has chosen to be in the limelight, you're going to be under certain scrutinies, and you have to remember that. So on that note, a prediction that I did make not too long ago that actually has come true this weekend is in the whole controversy of Snow White, when we were talking about it way back when, March, it seems so long ago, I mentioned how Lilo and Stitch was probably going to be Disney's saving grace. Like Lilo and Stitch was going to make back exactly how much Disney lost. Well, first of all, and it might surpass what I said, but basically Lilo and Stitch is saving Disney. They officially hit the $6 million making mark. But here's the thing, in order for, like, I was just like, oh, my prediction came true. And then my angels were like, actually, in order for them to actually recoup what they lost from Snow White, they would have to make back what they spent making Lilo and Stitch, then recoup what they lost for Snow White. So we'll have to wait a little bit longer, because I was about to come in here all excited that bada bing, bada boom, we did it. But no, from what I'm hearing, Lilo and Stitch is probably going to top out around 700 or 800 million by the end of all of that. If not pushing into the 9 millions, maybe. I don't think so. I think it's going to hit the very, very top of 8 million by the time it's all said and done. But yeah, you said sold 6 million when it's 6 million. Yes, but I said it was going to be Disney's saving grace when it came to Snow White. I did say 600 million. It hit that, but I also said it was going to be Snow White's saving grace. And I feel like there's going to be cost without advertisement. It's 100 million. So yeah, like I said, it's going to be about 700 or 800 million by the time it's all said and done with Lilo and Stitch. And then, I'd have to look at it, but I'm hearing they've got 2 more movies coming out before the end of the year that are also going to help them out a little bit. Oh God, let's just say that with how much of a success, truthfully, these other movies wouldn't even be considered successes if Snow White hadn't bombed so hard. But this is going to make the people in Disney reevaluate how they're doing things, because they were able to make Lilo and Stitch without any controversy. There's something else that's going, like another movie that they just did, they were able to do without controversy, and it made bank. So there's something here where they're all like, this one screw up was huge, but we've got 3 that are saving us at the end of the year, and maybe we'll come out of this learning a lesson that will not repeat itself for the next 10 years. Because this is kind of a bad habit that's been happening to them for the last 10 years. I think Cora and I actually mentioned this on the Snow White trailer reaction that's going to be coming soon on our reaction channel. We mentioned how, wow, my brain just went blank because my brain just started going through all, wow. You want to neurodivergent glitch right there. My brain just literally started going through all the things that I have to do for the Cora and Kibby React channel instead of continuing that statement. We mentioned that since Pixar, since Lion King, something has just literally gone backwards when it came to the production of movies. Like ever since the late 90s to the early, like ever since we shifted into the new millennium, it's like movies have just continuously gone down into the gutter. And hopefully, so it's been 25 years, but especially the last 5 years, I would have to say, yeah, there's not really any movies from the last 5 years that I watch, or 10 years that I watch. So we'll have to see how the next 10 years go. But with the way the industry is already getting flipped with Hollywood and the Palisades and how they're struggling to rebuild all of that area right now, and just the way that now Rachel Zegler, because of the way she acted in Snow White, is getting treated on Broadway's front. And yeah, did you guys hear that because Rachel Zegler decided to pull the same shenanigans that she did with Evita, that she did with Snow White, that they're now pulling out the contract clause in Broadway that states that if your words or actions affect the production in any way, you could actually get sued up to $5 million. Let's just say the company that's doing Evita is fully looking at that clause right now because Rachel Zegler didn't listen. I even said it. Good luck in Broadway, honey, because they're not going to handle the same shenanigans that LA did. Trust me. East Coast don't handle West Coast girls. They don't. Like, they cut them off at the head, truthfully. It's kind of why I like the East Coast women better. Anyway, 20 minutes. We're going to go into a 20-minute sprint because I have ranted. And I'm sorry for those of you that came for the sprints. I ranted a little long on that, but for those of you who come to hear me rant, I hope you enjoyed. So we're going to jump into another 20-minute sprint. I'm going to get some more voiceover. Oh, actually, no, you guys are going to see me disappear because I'm going to be moving something real quick. But I will be back. I'm trying to get voiceovers done. It's a crazy, guys. It's an ADHD, neurodivergent, scattered, get 100 directions, different kind of day. Okay. So what is this? The only controversy with Lilo and Stitch was the end of the movie. And it's not really a controversy because I'm hearing that it's turning out to be more of a conversation because there seems to be a 50-50 split. There seems to be some people that are saying they liked this ending better because it made more sense. And versus where the other ending, and you guys forgive me, I am not a Lilo and Stitch fan. I have not seen the movie. I have not seen either movie. This is just going off of what I've heard. Okay. Hearsay, take it as you will. But at least I'm honest that it's hearsay. There's some people that are saying that the other movie, like, it left too many gaps in the plot holes. Like, the girl was still, she didn't have a job. They technically still didn't have a home. Like, the ending of this movie actually had like solutions completed. Like, at least they had a home. At least the girl had whatever it was that could come and visit. At least she was getting her education to be able to make money. So there's, and truthfully, this is what you want from a movie. You want the type of movie where there's going to be a moment in it where it's going to cause people to have a conversation about it, because you don't want it to just be a wham, bam, and done. Like, even in Wicked, people could not stop talking about how amazing the vocals were. You know what I mean? So you always want to have that one thing in the movie that people will start a conversation about. And I feel like they handled that well with Lilo and Stitch. Did they handle that well with Snow White? No. I'm sorry. Can you guys tell I'm still mad about the way they destroyed a classic? Like, I am one of those people. Guys, I'm a lesbian. I could care less about Prince Charming, and I'm still angry about it. Anyway, 20 minutes on the clock. I will see you all in 20 minutes when we get back. I'm bad. Anyway, I'm going to be talking about how I feel bad for the college grads right now and what's going on with that, because, gosh, the only commencement speech I loved was by Kermit the Frog. Number two, the karma of Kamala Harris, and Whoopi Goldberg. So can you tell I kind of held the most controversial topics for the end? Anyway, I will see you all in 20 minutes. Try to get some work done, do some laundry, actually clean your house for 20 minutes. Hell, pull out the vacuum. You'd be amazed how much you can vacuum in 20 minutes. Anyway, in 3, 2, 1, and I have to kind of set this up so I can press play and sprint, and don't forget to mute your All right, all right, all right, all right. So that was the end of that sprint. So how did we all do? I was able to get quite a few done. I currently have a bed frame sitting to my left off screen. And my next step is to actually break down a bed and clean a room. I have so much stuff that I have to do. So honestly, truthfully, during that sprint, it was brought to my attention that I was probably going to be up until like 3 in the morning moving stuff. And there's other people that live here. So I might want to start moving the heavier stuff now. So I started doing so on that last sprint and basically got the mattress, the box spring into the living room and the bed frame sitting next to me. Did a piece that is one of the rods decide to come off of the bed frame as I was carrying it down the wall? Yes. Did it? Murphy's Law. It hit. What it hit and how it hit, it made the loudest sound that you could imagine. Like you would think I had tripped over myself and fell and 20 things fell on me. No, not like the mark on the wall is even like minimal. It was like the sound that it made. Anyway, so first of all, I'm living up to my nickname Crash. Obviously. However, I did move an entire bed in 12 minutes. So, muscles. You can't see it, but I'm pretty buff. I'm in kind of good shape. I'll admit it. Anyway, so how did rest of us all do on our sprint? It looks like she got a couple more minutes done. Nice. And got to get the baby down, which is going to be fun because I have a feeling the baby has been a baby today. We are going to, since I have so much work that we're going to do, I am going to rattle off with the stuff that I want to talk about, and then we're going to wrap up the stream. I believe we've already done 2 20-minute sprints and a 10-minute sprint anyway, so we're in a good place. Where I left off, I was talking about Zach Galifianakis, who I did not... Oh my gosh, that's right. Okay, so for any of you that are interested, Cora, with the video she's actually talking about, I'm going to promote a little bit for Cora. She never asks this. She never expects it, but I'm going to do it anyway. She is doing a review on Lilo and Stitch. So if you are interested or have seen Lilo and Stitch and want a honest review, because she's seen the first one, she's seen the second one, it was like 50 minutes that she pre-recorded that she's editing down in her review. So if you haven't yet, go to her channel, check it out. The link to her channel is in the description for these videos. So just go down in the description, click on her link, or click on her little name right there in the comments. You can do that too. It's reverse when it comes to me on screen. So click on her name, click on her comments or whatever. And yeah, I've only seen bits and pieces of the original, but you are more familiar with Lilo and Stitch than I am. Anyway, I'm like, Lilo and Stitch? Who's that? I have honestly, I had no idea who Lilo and Stitch were. So anyway, on another note, going into animated characters that are coming off the screen and changing, Kermit the Frog decided to do a commencement speech at, I believe it was Boston College. If you go and listen to it, it is probably one of the best commencement speeches I've heard in a long time. Is it one I think he's done before? Yes. Absolutely. I think he did one similar to that back in the late 80s or 90s. I think when Jim Henson was still alive and actually doing the voices for him. However, on that note, I thought that was really cool and inspirational that I decided to click through and look up a couple other commencement speeches, because it dawned on me that right now, the graduates that are leaving college are really staring down a future that is not that promising, and it's kind of heartbreaking. And having a very motivational commencement speech is imperative right now, to send these graduates out into the world of hope, and with hope and ingenuity and innovativeness, and you can change the future if you don't like it type motivations, is kind of what we need, especially in commencement speeches for colleges. When I heard the majority of these speeches were about politics and rhetoric and conspiracy, my heart literally broke for a lot of the college graduates out there. It made me feel like I almost wanted to create my own college speech. No, I did not. No, you're not. No, I'm not busting into a college speech right now. I would not do that to my followers. However, it is something that I thought about. And if we're setting up the 20 and 30-year-olds, or the 20-year-olds basically, that are leaving college right now, they're going to be one of two. They've got one of two roads to go down. A, work hard for a future that can't promise Social Security and a retirement, or B, live off of welfare and look forward to a future that doesn't have Social Security or welfare and bleed it out until you can't anymore. That second option is now not available because of the change that they've made. We need more trade schools. We need better education. There's a video out there of a college graduate from Connecticut who is illiterate. She can't even read. She can't even write her own name. She has no idea how to spell her own name. And these are the kind of people that we're setting off into the world to run our country. Did we forget? Did we forget that our children are our future? Guys. And honestly, the more I think about it, the more I'm so appreciative of moms like Cora who homeschool their kids and kind of keep them out of this whole political social bubble that's literally taking over the school districts right now. Who's to say that Cora's kids who live in the rules of wherever, I'm not going to mention where you live, are better off learning social sciences than they are learning how to plow their own land. And not only that, but I knew when they took out home economics from schools, when they stopped teaching kids how to do their laundry, how to cook, how to sew, how to do the basics, I knew that they were pretty much setting up our future for failure, because you cannot send a kid off to college who doesn't know how to do their laundry, who doesn't know how to sew a button onto their shirt. These used to be basic skills. Yes, I know we have computing and technology, and you need to know how to be able to type and understand how to use basic technology, but you also still need to know how to be able to sew a button onto a shirt. And it's almost like, because we've advanced so much in technology in regards to computers and phones and everything else, we've kind of negated the whole fact that, without somebody to do your laundry, you're not going to have clean clothes to go to that job. You're not going to, if somebody doesn't know how to cook a meal for you, you're going to starve. So I'm appreciative that there's a lot of that Kermit the Frog came out and gave such an amazing motivational commencement speech, considering what the heck is going on in the world right now and the other commencement speeches I heard. Speaking of speeches, the true, when I always say, just wait for people to expose themselves, because inevitably they will. The truth always comes out. People will tell me stories about things that have happened on the forefront, and I'll believe them to a point. You best believe I'm going to pay attention to future details. I'm not one of those that takes things as they are and then doesn't acquire future information and change my opinion. In regards to that, Kamala Harris has definitely exposed her true feelings about things and what her true motivations are. Because if you guys didn't hear recently, our lovely ex-vice president was paid $500,000. I'll repeat, $500,000 to fly down to Australia to speak at a real estate convention, to literally sit on stage and tell everybody there that paid her and probably paid for tickets to be there that she was unemployed. I would love to be that type of unemployed. I would love to be the type of unemployed where I'm getting paid $500,000 and an all-paid flight down to Australia and hotel and probably food. I mean, truthfully, I would love to see that type of unemployment, because that's not the type of unemployment that I know of. She has a very skewed vision and this. I realized, I was just like, if that is your idea of unemployment, I'm starting to understand why things went the way they went. And I'm starting to understand how you spent over $1 billion in a campaign not to win and still ended up in the hole. And you wanted to run our country. This woman needs to stop. It's one of those things where I was just like, you literally need to swallow crow and just take a step back and accept the fact that you are about to be investigated for a massive cover up, because Kamala Harris is going to be just as guilty as Joe Biden was in all of this stuff that has been going on with Biden. If you guys, they're saying that these are the people that were holding the pen, I'm telling you right now, Harris and wifey Biden were the ones signing stuff. It wasn't like there may have been other people, but I guarantee those were the two that were actually making the decisions behind the scenes. And I think it was done on purpose, because for some reason, I feel like there's a group of people that really wanted to have a certain female president in position, in power, in order to be able to gain control of our country on a complete political level. And I think that's also why there's a lot. If you guys haven't paid attention to other countries, understand that Portugal, Spain, France, Italy, Ireland are all ticked at the EU. France is petitioning to pull out. So is Portugal from the European Union. They're angry as hell at NATO. And I'm starting to wonder, was my whole conspiracy theory about how certain people were put into certain places in order to be able to push an agenda so that they could pad their own pockets? And I'm wondering if it wasn't just on an American level, because of what is literally going on worldwide. Trump has started a shift in things that is now literally rippling across the world, and it's insane. And am I for it? Yes. And truthfully, in all aspects of things, I see great outcomes, except for that big, beautiful bill. Still got questions. My gut instinct is just something off about it. There's just something off about it. But I have a feeling that it's that way because the House and the Senate still have to go through that bill. So we'll see what's taken out. We'll see what's regulated. We'll see what's held steadfast on. And we'll go from there. Do I believe that this bill is going to be like the sale, like this, the solution to everything? No. It's going to take a long time for our country to fix the mistakes that have been set in the last 60 years. However, do we need a bill that is literally going to be able to establish people like me an ability to continue living without struggling on the forefront, while being able to establish a long-term goal in building up our deficit? Yeah, I just don't know how we do it, guys. So on that note, we are going to hop out because I'm super excited to get the rest of this work done. So on that note, go ahead and raise your glasses with me because we'll do our closing cheers. For all of you, may your angels be strong, may your energies be positive, and be karma be ever in your favor. And thank you, and I love you to all of my replay killer. I really appreciate you guys coming by and watching. Thank you, and I love you to all my new subscribers. Welcome. Keep sharing, keep spreading the news, guys. I'd love to get to up to 500 subscribers by the end of the year. And even then, we can also do free psychic readings. So keep an eye out for future uploads, and I will see you guys on Wednesday, hopefully. All right. Until then, bye.